Boa tarde, senhores e senhoras, que nos assistem de Portugal e Brasil. Estou diretamente de Miami e é bom ver tantos de vós aqui. O meu nome é Darren Joseph, and eu sou de HG.Tax, and we're the team that seeks to demystify the sometimes confusing world of international tax. And today we have Mike. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, good afternoon and a good morning, evening, wherever everybody is today. My name is Michael Dye. I'm a U.S. immigration lawyer, and we have our main office in California with other offices in the Middle East and Asia, have been operating in Brazil and elsewhere for many years, and we focus on business and investment immigration.
Okay, and to help with translations, we also have Paula. Paula, could you please introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Paula, and I'm an immigration and tax lawyer.
So the next question is about visas again, Mike. So someone is asking about the E2 visa. Now you went into that in a bit of detail in the previous response. So I guess what I'd want to ask to give it, more flavor, I guess, is how can you, or is it possible to convert from an E2 to a green card once you're in the country?
Yeah, that's a good question. And so on my last response, I pretty much just focused on E2, but there is another visa. It's for green cards, and it's permanent residency option. It's called EB-5. And this has been very popular for Brazil over the years. We've had many Brazilian EB-5 investors. And just in a very quick summary, this is an investment visa where the minimum investment is either $800,000 or 1.05 million, depending on where your investment is. And there's ways to do this EB-5 program very passively, where you loan money to large developers, for example, that build large projects like hotels, motels, commercial residential property. And you're basically loaning the money for a period that's about 4 or 5 years, and then your money's returned to you, you have permanent residency. That's the passive way to do EB-5. There's another way where you can invest again in your own business. You hire 10 people and they have to be green card holders or US citizens. And this is your own company, your investment, and either 800,000 or 1.05 million, depending on where that business is located. In a rural area, in a high unemployment area, the government reduces that amount to 800. Otherwise, it's 1.05 million, and you have to create 10 jobs. So we talked about E2. I just mentioned EB-5. That goes straight to a green card. Now, if you do E2 and you make that smaller investment into your own business, you can do what's called E2 conversion. And that's increase your investment level up to the EB-5 immigrant investor level. And then you can get residency based on that initial investment you started with the E2.
Mas que o investimento mínimo é de $800 mil a 8,5 milhões, dependendo de onde seu dinheiro estiver.
Okay. So we focused on the E2, the EB-5, but there's also the L1 as well, right? Go ahead, comment.
Yeah, the L1 visa, it's called the intracompany transferee visa. And so this allows, for example, if you have a manager or an executive and you have your own company in Brazil, and then you want to set up a related office in the United States, like a branch, affiliate, subsidiary, you can start that new business in the US and transfer yourself over to run that company as an L1. It can be viewed as an investor visa as well, because you're making an investment in a new company. The government just calls it a transferee visa because you've got to have a foreign company and you have a US company and you're transferring executives and people back and forth.
Understood. And from a tax point of view, I think the advantage of the L1 and the E2 is that it allows someone to control the extent to which you're exposed to the US tax system. If it is that you go in on the EB-5 and then you get the conditional green card and then the green card, there's no control. The US tax system is going to follow you, whether you remain in the US or you leave the US and you spend time back in home country. Whereas with the L1 and E2, you can choose to not be, you can dip in and out of the US. And as long as you monitor your days your worldwide income and assets would not necessarily be trapped in the U.S. tax net.
Dos impostos entre o visto L1 e o E2. E, aparentemente, o L1, se você cuidar bem do seu dinheiro, não seria taxado globalmente como os demais vistos.
Okay, thank you. Mike, what's the best way for someone to find you?
Sure, they can contact us through our website as well, and it's www.mikedilaw.com. And there's many different brochures and descriptions of different visa categories as well. So a lot of information, and we're happy to talk to anyone who has any further questions as well.
Okay. With that, thank you very much.